Hey there friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today I'll be doing a double reaction to Ado. First we'll be checking out Villain Uta Temita, which I believe is actually Ado singing Korean. So that's going to be super fun. I don't think I've heard her sing in Korean before, and Korean is just such a beautiful language, and I don't have the largest wealth of experience with K-pop and just Korean music in general. I do have experience there, so I love the language. I love what I've heard so far, and I know Ado and the Korean language are just going to go glove in hand. So I'm excited to hear this song, and then we're going to follow it up with a reaction to Domestic Violence. And interestingly enough, just these two song titles alone, they both kind of carry with it dark connotations, right? Villain, evil, and domestic violence, obviously being very bad. So I don't know what exactly to expect today, but that's what we're here for, to enjoy the Ado journey. Before we jump in, a big thank you goes to Amy, whose generous support made this reaction possible. Thank you so much, Amy. Sending you a lot of love. And now, let's jump in.
We all pretend to be the heroes on the good side.
Oh wow. Wow, even small note there. Did you see the text flip? Reminds me of the movie Incantation.
어떤 곳은 검은색, 어떤 곳은 하얀색, 색안경을 끼고 보면 어떡해? 넌 착한 사람이고 걔 나쁜 사람이고
A bit bouncy on the piano side.
세상은 So many shades of grey. 어떻게 할지도 모를 수 있어.
Wow, pretty, very pretty. Oh, these piano notes.
Because I'm a villain when you gotta 생각해.
Whoa, what a cool groove. What a super cool groove here. It's almost like gypsy jazz. Bouncy.
I'm killing someone, maybe you're killing someone, maybe I'm killing you, maybe you're killing me, maybe we all pretend to be the heroes on the good side, but what if we're the villains on the other? I'm a good, I'm a bad, ay. Are you good, are you bad, ay. 내가 제일 사랑하는 누군가를 또 다른 누군가에게 느꼈어. Are we good, are we bad, ay. What is good, what is bad, ay. 네가 제일 미워하는 누군가는 사나봐도 누군가의 자식.
Yeah. Love that little cadence there.
Are we good, are we bad, ay. What is good, what is bad, ay. 네가 제일 미워하는 누군가는 사나봐도 누군가의 자식.
And you gotta hear it. Like, I really, this song is gonna like require 4 listens through just to like hear all of the cool intricacies, but I think a lot of my attention is going to, first and foremost, the song structure. I think it's just really interesting. We're in like this unique kind of blended style of like swing, of gypsy jazz. It's not exploding into rock, although it could. I could imagine hearing that. It's super interesting, and all the while lyrically there's a lot of meaning underneath all of it. And something just completely random that relates to me is, in my own songwriting, I try to come up with interesting concepts or just things that kind of speak to me. And there is a very like a song that I have in its nascence, right? Working on lyrics, mostly melody, but the song title was going to be Hero/Villain. And one of the lyrics in that song I had written, which I thought was an absolute standout, was "I'm not the hero I thought I was." That was like one of the lines I wrote. And this song feels like it taps on so many of those concepts that I wanted to embody in my own version of a hero/villain. Villain Uta Temita. Love this. This is so cool.
What is good, what is bad, ay. 네가 제일 미워하는 누군가는 사나봐도 누군가의 자식. So many shades of grey. 어떻게 할지도 모를 수
love the piano in this.
Because 1, 2 I'm a villain 괜히 그래 생각해
That's really interesting. Super bumpy. Bouncy rather. Did you catch those like vocal harmonies in the background there? They kind of hang above. Right there.
I'm carrying someone, maybe you're carrying someone, maybe I'm carrying you, maybe you're carrying me, maybe we all pretend to be the heroes on the good side, but what if we're the villains on the other? We all pretend to be the heroes on the good side, but what if we're the villains on the other?
Yeah.
We all pretend to be the heroes on the good side.
Yeah. It's super important. I love the message of this song. It's super important to recognize and understand the capacity that we as individuals have for bad, for evil. Because if we can recognize that there are parts of ourselves that, you know, like Carl Jung kind of assumes that part of ourselves to be the shadow. If we have this shadow that follows us wherever we go, as long as we recognize that that relationship is there and we can learn the tools to deal with our own shadow, then it's fine to recognize that we have good parts to ourselves and bad parts to ourselves. And we work on improving, we work on, I guess, channeling those negative, those shadow parts of ourselves in our favor, learning how to contend with them such that the things we do in the world come from a place of true virtue and proper intent rather than out of simple circumstance, right? Because it's easy to do the right thing when that's the only thing you can do, and it's hard to do the right thing when you can do anything, when the opportunity is infinite, right? There's a quote about power that I found very interesting. Those who have real power, I believe it was actually in the Oscar award-winning Schindler's List movie. You guys, if you haven't seen that movie, I guess trigger warning, it's a very serious one. In that movie, Oscar Schindler, there's a quote, and you know, no spoilers or anything. In that quote, he says, someone who's actually powerful, they have the capacity for evil, they can kill even, and they choose not to. They exercise forgiveness, and that is somebody with true power. Another way you could kind of frame power and just grace and being a good person is you have the capacity to do something bad and you choose not to. So you should make yourself powerful and full of virtue such that the decisions you make, they come from a place of strength and will self-reinforce those positive behaviors rather than coming from a place of lack or weakness where you are only forced to do the good thing. Otherwise, you know, if you had the opportunity, you would choose the bad thing, if that makes sense. Basically, all in all, try to make yourself as powerful and as good of a person as you can, such that all of your decisions are coming from a place of good as well. Okay, hopefully that all made sense. If it didn't, I totally understand. My mind rambles sometimes in ways that even I don't understand. But I hope y'all are enjoying the reactions so far. Subscribe if that's the case, and if you would like to support the channel, request a reaction yourself, hit the link down below. And now let's jump into the second song here, Domestic the Violence.
Domestic the violence.
Right away. Super bouncy. More into the swing. Love the drum beat on this. delightfully dull. Wow. It's so upbeat, but the content is not. Wow. I won't forgive you. Whoa. Love the bounciness here. Also, this song really dovetails well with Villain. Similar concepts being talked about. Wow. All of that has to do with like perception of one's own actions and how you interpret the actions of another. And in relationships, you can even throw out the term domestic violence, but in relationships that are being tested, right, where there's egos at play, where there's differences in attachment style, perception becomes reality, and it becomes very hard to undo perception if not for persistent and, pointed conversation. It's so poetic, the way that she's speaking about this. I will live. Yeah. I want to be the... Yeah. Wow, sorry to like pause so much, but the poetry in these lyrics, it's overwhelming. The cake I was served wasn't so sweet. And you could interpret it two different ways, because we only right now we're hearing the story from the female's perspective here, but this cake, the person who made the cake maybe did it with love. They could have also made the cake with malice, and it's intentionally not sweet, but it's still being served to you. So it's like, I am getting these crumbs of love, but they don't really feel all that sweet. They don't really feel and manifest in a believable way, per se. I'll steal the good honey. Wow. Oh no. It's going crazy now. Wow. That's so cool. It's all coming to a head, and it's explosive. Lyrics by Canaria. That is really cool. I love the meaning of these two songs. When I did this double reaction, I didn't actually anticipate that both of them would be around, I think, relatively similar topics, but it kind of works out. And the way I'm kind of interpreting this domestic violence song, it comes from a unique perspective. I think I've lived many lives, as many of us have. I'll just think about it in the context of relationships, because romantic relationships, it is very difficult to work through issues together when communication isn't there, right? When assumptions are continually made, when grace isn't given, and that forgiveness feels like forced, and it's unbelievable. And then the kisses become cold, the cakes become less sweet. There's so many things that can sully our view of our partner, that come from within, that are put down on us externally, even from the other partner themselves. They could literally disqualify themselves repeatedly to you. There's an infinite number of ways relationships can devolve and go wrong. And that's why, to me, it feels like the best path through is to be as intentional with your decisions, with your words, with your thought patterns as possible. And, I could speak on that whole concept for hours unending. I kind of do want to do that, but I also respect your time today. If you recognize that behaviors are, let's say, not tolerable from the other individual, sometimes it's also worth at least reflecting internally, asking yourself, how did we arrive at this point? And certain actions are just, there's just an impasse. If you hit me, if you hurt me, if you abuse me in any of the possible ways, then yeah, this is probably never going to work out, and we should not tolerate situations like that. And I think a lot of relationships, although they don't get to that like very obviously like physically abusive situation, there's many signs that degenerate to such situations that, if noticed by either partner and brought up in the moment or remedied through intentional conversation, it's almost like, yes, dealing with relationships is like, dealing with many like spinning plates, but those plates get a lot easier to soothe over time. I don't know. It's just best not to leave things under the rug, put simply. Address them now. Be earnest, be honest, be diligent. Find it within you to do the best thing for yourself, which is to, put up boundaries where you feel they need to go, to be honest, to love. And if things are untenable, then accept that. Yeah, this could spur a massive discussion, and I could just take it a million different ways. I don't want to veer too far away from the music itself now, so I'll just quickly recap those songs. Villain, Utatamita, and Domestic the Violence. Both of them had these really cool piano parts and beautiful kind of, I guess, combinations of swing and a bit of gypsy jazz is what I was getting, especially from Villain there. Both bouncy. Interestingly enough, they're both bouncy in terms of musical feel, but lyrically, you may feel like it would be the opposite of what you might expect. Leave it to Otto to get you thinking on every possible dimension related to the art that she creates. This is truly, truly a gem. I'm a big fan. But I hope you all enjoyed my reaction today. Subscribe if you did, and if you'd like to request a reaction yourself, hit the link down below. And as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and peace.